Seahawks fans, we need your help. We're closing in on 68,000 subscribers here on the channel, just 150 away from reaching that next milestone. You may be wondering, why should I subscribe to Seattle Seahawks today? Well, for starters, you aren't a real Seahawks fan unless you're subscribed to the channel. But secondly, we offer you the best free content around. Daily news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day. Live shows 3 days a week, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more, all right here on your off-season headquarters, where there is no off-season here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV, and we'll get started with today's show. Ernest Jones IV, one of the newer members of your Seattle Seahawks, has sent a message to the entire National Football League. We will tell you what that is and more coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday, my friends. Ernest Jones, I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm so glad that he's here, that not only Seattle traded for him prior to the trade deadline, but they're able to get an extension done to keep him around long term. And one of the things I've noticed from Ernest Jones in his short time already in Seattle, not only have we seen him play at a high level and be a difference maker for this Seattle team in the second half of 2024, but he has also been quite the leader as well. And he's let his presence be known, and he's worked really well with his teammates and just gelled with these guys right from the jump here in Seattle in his short tenure so far to this point. And Ernest Jones, when asked about, all right, what are the expectations? How are you guys feeling about this team going into 2025? At the end of mandatory minicamp, Ernest Jones said this, according to Seahawks.com. I think for this team, I think everyone believes in that. We're going to show up to work and do what we have to do to make sure we get it done. I think it's going to be special. I'm excited. I don't want to give too much because we've got to put the work in. But if the vision lives up to what I think, yeah, it's going to be something crazy. I like us versus anything and anybody. That's how I'll leave it. And as he was doing this interview, folks, to provide some more context of what we're talking about here, he was pointing to the Super Bowl banner that is in the building at the VMAX Center, and that's what his expectations are. That's his ultimate goals, is to get there. And for this Seahawks team to be a Super Bowl caliber team and a Super Bowl caliber defense. And Super Bowl talk, that's bold, but I'm here for it. I love the confidence that he's showing. I don't think that he's being cocky. I think he's being confident, and there's a big difference between the two. As somebody like myself would know, you stay humble, stay hungry, as I have to tell Big Tex from time to time when he's talking about his Texas Longhorns. The Seahawks versus everybody mentality, I think this is going to be one that we need to put on a T-shirt or something. I mean, it is Seahawks against the world. We've seen this team be disrespected among the media across the NFL. We've seen them be an afterthought even by other teams across the National Football League. And to me, I embrace it. Let this team catch everybody off guard. And you may not notice this now, but you will later. This team is clearly very hungry. All right? I mean, they're ready for all that hungry man Jack pancake syrup. I mean, they want it all. They are saying the right things. They are extremely motivated. The chemistry is there. We heard no issues going on at OTAs and minicamp. In fact, things were going so well that they canceled a couple practice of OTAs, moved up mandatory minicamp because every team was gelling. You know, I think of Ted Lasso and the great show, Ted Lasso on Apple TV. And, you know, Ted Lasso has everybody tap that believe sign. I think everybody in this Seahawks organization is tapping that belief sign, that they believe in themselves, that they are bought in to what Mike McDonald and what this team is doing. And you think about it, too. Motivation is half the battle here, folks. I think that this is beyond just football conversation here, but just kind of talking life in general, folks. When we go throughout our day to day and when we try to succeed in life, part of it is what can we do to get that little extra out? And I'm not seeing this Seahawks team lacking that motivation, that they're bought in, that they're excited, and Ernest Jones is a big reason why. So, what about the Super Bowl idea? What do you guys think? Can the Seahawks be a Super Bowl team this season? Sound off on our pinned comment today. Let us know. Type HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. Tell me in the comments section below. Let's kind of focus in on Ernest Jones' side of the ball, the defense. And I think this defense is stacked. And when you look at this Seahawks team, just kind of taking two steps back, big picture here, this is an organization, a roster that is going to be led by their defense in 2025. The reports that we heard out of OTAs and out of minicamp was that, hey, the offense is coming along, but the defense is much further along than what the offense is. And I think the defensive side of the ball is just plain and simply going to be better than the offense, and they are going to be what carries this team. And that's perfectly fine with me. You guys know the old adage, offense wins games, defense wins championships. And when you look at this, folks, of what we're talking about with the players, the contributors involved here, I think that we kind of forget just what this team has gone through to retool this roster on that side of the ball piece by piece. Leonard Williams has been fantastic since he came on board a couple of years ago. I think he's the most underrated defensive player in the entire league. You got Byron Murphy coming into his second season, and I think there's nowhere to go but up from him. And I know the statistics from Byron Murphy last year weren't off the charts, but if you need something to notice his impact, look at this Seattle defense when he wasn't out there, when he was banged up, and how much they took a step off on the defensive line. Jaron Reed, what a welcome addition he has been over the last few seasons, and the production that he's put together and the leader that he's been to this defense. And then you add in a new piece like DeMarcus Lawrence coming over from the Dallas Cowboys. And I think with D-Law, the question is not about his talent level. I think we all know that he can play at a high level. It's, can he stay healthy? And if he does, I could very well see D-Law leading this team in sacks in 2025. Derek Hall had a big step up last year. And although that there are a plethora of outside linebackers on this Seahawks roster, that doesn't mean that guys like him and Boye Mafe are all of a sudden going to be forgotten about in this defense. I think Hall and I think Boye Mafe both, you rotate them in. And the thing, too, that Mike McDonald loves about these guys is they're not just pass rushing specialists. They both do a very good job against the run and in coverage. And there's going to be ways to use all of them. Uchenna Nwosu, if Nwosu stays healthy, kind of like what we talked about with D-Law. We know the production can be there. It's just the health that is the potential concern. Ernest Jones, you guys all know about Ernest Jones and the difference that he made for this Seahawks team in the second half of 2025. And think about this, too. When it comes to Ernest Jones, he had the knee problems the last couple of seasons, had the offseason surgery, and he felt like that was holding him back. Well, now Ernest Jones, as well as he's played, and with him being in the best shape he's been in a couple of seasons, watch out. Tyrese Knight looks like one of the best draft picks that this Seattle team made last offseason with how much he's emerged and has been a pleasant surprise as a former fourth-round pick. Devon Witherspoon looks like arguably the best nickel corner in all of football. Rick Woolen, we'll talk more about him coming up later on. He's turned into a quality starter, had a fantastic rookie season. There's been some ups and downs, but I believe in Rick Woolen and his capabilities. Josh Jobe, I'm not sold on as a full-time starter, but I'm glad he's on this team, and maybe Seattle makes a move to bring in another corner, and then Josh Jobe could be a very good backup piece potentially. And then you look at the safety room. This is about as good as you could realistically ask for when you talk about Julian Love, the Pro Bowl safety, formerly of the New York Giants, who has been so reliable in his time here. Kobe Bryant had a breakout second half of the season last year, and there's a lot of hope about what he's going to do in 2025. And then, of course, the rookie, Nick Eamon-Warring. What is he? We don't know what he is just yet. He's got experience playing safety, outside corner, nickel corner, inside linebacker, outside linebacker. I don't know what exactly he'll do, but whatever he does, I have every reason to think that he'll play at a high level and execute what's been asked of him from Mike Macdonald. Here's the thing. The only thing stopping this Seattle defense for me is health. If health goes their way, then watch out. Because last year they were a top 10 defense, even with everything that they went through in the first half of the season. And now you bring back almost everybody. You've improved and brought in some new pieces. If the health is there, then this defense can be special and be the best defense we've seen in quite some time. I look to quote a great philosopher named Shrek. And Shrek once said that ogres are like onions. They have layers. And I look at this Seattle defense, it's an onion. And it has layers of a variety of things that Mike Macdonald can do. And I think that this defense in 2025, they're going to make Shrek the ogre proud. I feel pretty confident in saying that. Do you believe in the Seahawks defense? You got two options here. Be honest with me. Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in the comments section and tell us what you think. Folks, I've been told that in all of Chat Sports, this is one of the hottest items in the entire company right now, is this Seahawks Nike shirt that is on sale for $15.99. Look, I'll be frank with you. Nike stuff usually isn't that cheap, but we got a great deal here. It's summertime. It's getting hot. You want to support your favorite team. Why not get a great-looking Nike Seahawks shirt for just $15.99 while supplies last? We have all sorts of different sizes available. Go see for yourself now. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours now. We also have other Seahawks merchandise at that same link. Go check it out now. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours today. So here's a question that I find myself asking when going into 2025 and evaluating Seattle's defense. How do you measure the defense's success? What is one player or one thing that you can point to where you say, hey, if this goes right, if this player steps up, then things are going to work out? And I think the guy you point to is Rick Woolen. I think he will be the good test of the measuring mark of this defense. With Rick, we've seen the good. We've also seen the bad from Rick Woolen. Wasn't too long ago, he was the co-leader of interceptions in the National Football League with a fantastic rookie season with 6 INTs. And then we go a year later to his sophomore season, and he was struggling to tackle. So with that said, when Rick Woolen is playing well, he is a very solid Pro Bowl caliber outside corner. But when he's not playing so well, then things are potentially falling apart. And you look at his numbers. Here's what we're talking about here, folks. Nobody is arguing when you look at Rick Woolen's statistics about his ability to create turnovers. We know that's there. 6 interceptions his first season, 2 in 2023, 3 in 2024. But it is the consistency of, hey, maybe not every time you need to go for the big play and the turnover, but, hey, just get the tackle or just bat down the pass from time to time. We think about these numbers here, folks, all right? So his completion percentage allowed last season in his coverage stats according to PFF, completion percentage allowed was solid, close to 53%. But then when he was giving up things, this is where we talk about the good and the bad. Over 400 receiving yards allowed, 5 touchdowns given up. But you still had the 14 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. QB rating allowed was really good, 76.9. I just need to see the consistency time in and time out, and I think that will be a good point of emphasis. If he's doing his part, then I feel pretty well about everything else. If Woolen plays well, I think you are in good shape as a defense. If not, then I think you got a corner issue on your hands here. Because I can count on Devon Witherspoon. But if Reek struggles, we already have question marks at the outside corner spot if Josh Jobe is good enough, and if you're going to get some other help here. To me, that's the biggest concern is the corner position. If Reek does his job, then that's a great sign for everything else. But if he struggles, then this could be something that we look back on and say, that was the difference of why that Seattle defense didn't reach their full potential. Prediction time. Will Reek Wallen have a big season in 2025? You got two options here. Type Y for yes and for no. Write in the comment section. Tell me what you think. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now to Seattle Seahawks Today for free. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.